out there, this is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 20 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to go through all the steps and all the information that you need to know on how to build a theme team in Madden 20 Ultimate Team. I've been getting a lot of questions lately on various things regarding theme teams, so I figured we'd just do a full tutorial. We're also going to show you my all-Eagles squad that I am currently building and kind of show you guys all the things that I've done to get this team where it's at. So let's start and get on into it. So obviously the first thing you want to do is pick a team to build. Now you can build a theme team based on your favorite team like I did for the Eagles, or you can just build a theme team because you think it's really cool or it'd be filled with players that, you know, maybe you enjoy playing with or using. But obviously the first step to building a theme team is picking the team that you want to rock with. Now, why would one want to build a theme team? Well, it's mainly because of chemistry boosts. If you are unaware, you can get boosted stats on cards that played for a similar team. And if you're able to get 50 of 50 of one single team, it's going to boost the stats tremendously. This really helps because the stats on cards this year have been really lackluster, and I think it's because they are designing some of these cards with the mind frame that people are using them for theme teams. And last year, this became a really cool thing, but the stats were crazy. Cards were really, really good very early on in the year, and I think that's kind of why we're starting to see some really bad stats on cards, which isn't good. I'm not happy with it at all, but I got a feeling that's kind of why we're seeing it. So again, the goal is to get 50-50, and if you go over to your chemistry tab on your lineup screen, it's going to show you, all of your team chems. So obviously, because I have 50-50 Eagles, it's going to show up top. But if we go over to our main squad, and this is another little bit of a trick that some of you guys might not know, you can utilize multiple lineups from this screen. So we're just going to go to change active lineup. And as you can see, I have my main team and my Eagles team, and it makes it a little bit easier to switch back and forth between the two, so you don't have to play with one team and then put together a no team. You have saved lineups. If you were unaware, again, you go over to your lineup tools, go to change active lineup. If you wanted to create a new one, you just hit your triangle button, and it's going to give you the option to create a new lineup. So we're going to go back to our main team and once again show you the various team chems. So this is our better team. And you can see on this team we have 25 Eagles, so not 50 of 50. And then if we go a little bit further down, we have, Bears, Bengals, Bills, Broncos, Browns, Buccaneers, lots of B's there. And they go in alphabetical order, obviously. So now I want to show you guys a couple quick tips and tricks on how to get 50 of 50, ways that you can find cards, ways that you can get some extra chems on a couple different cards by doing some certain sets and solos. So again, we're going to use the Eagles as our example because that's the team that we have and that's the team that we're rocking with. But if you were unaware, doing your theme builder solos are going to give you solos that can get a ×2 chem on a player. So for example, if we go on over to our solo challenges, actually, you know what? Let me go back. I know I'm probably not speaking to the majority of you, but I want to make sure I cover all bases. If you were unaware, as you go up MUT levels as you're playing the game, you're going to earn what's called theme builder tokens, and I believe you get these every 5 levels. They stop after level 50, but what theme builder tokens give you is a token that you can use into a set to unlock a grouping of solos, and that's what the theme builder solos are. So again, I just wanted to show you guys your MUT levels. Again, if you go back, here's level 5, you should have earned one. Level 10, you should have earned one. Level 15, you earn them every 5 levels until you get to level 50, and then they stop. Will we get more? I'm not sure. That would be pretty cool if they do, because there's 32 solos that you can play. Now with those theme builder tokens, you're going to go over to the set section and go to theme builders, and if you look here, we'll take a look at theme diamonds in a moment, but if you go to unlock challenges, you can see I've used 10 out of 32, so I've used all 10 that I have gotten. But for whatever one you use, whatever theme team you plan on building, you want to make sure you do these solos, because what you do when you put this collectible in is you unlock a grouping of solos. And for me, obviously we did the Eagles amongst other teams. When you complete these solos, at the end of it, you're going to earn a power-up card, a core elite card, and a theme builder master for that team. And importantly enough, that's going to give you ×2 on whatever team that happens to be. So for the Eagles, it was Brandon Graham. If we go back over to our ultimate challenges, we'll show you all the solos that we needed to get. We put out a video way earlier in the year on how to beat these and what you need to do, but I'll quickly cover it again. So going all the way over to theme builders, we go to Eagles, and it's full games. You play the full NFL schedule basically. very important to know that you can play all of these on 1 stars and still get the main objective, except the last solo and the third to last solo. So this solo needs to be played on at least 3 stars. As you can see, it says close out the regular season by defeating the Giants in New York, earning at least 3 stars on this challenge. And also this one right here, the third to last one, beat the Redskins in Washington, earning at least 3 stars on this challenge will reward you a Brandon Graham Core Elite player. The rest of these, you literally just have to play on 1 star. I played them on more because at that time I just was unaware and trying to earn stars. And the very first solo of this grouping, you get that player's power up. So for the Eagles, like I said, it's Brandon Graham. If you want to know which player is on each team, you can definitely go to muthead.com and find that out. But again, I wanted to show you this specifically because you get ×2 Eagles Chem on that item once you power them all the way up. I don't even think you have to power them up. You can use just the card that you earned from that last solo without powering them up, and you'll still go ahead and get the ×2 card. But if we take a look at our Brandon Graham, if we can ever find him here, there he is. We can see that he has ×2 Eagles Chem, and this is even after him getting a Team of the Week hero card, which we powered up further. So this ×2 Chem will stick with him basically forever, as long as he has a card. Okay, so there's another card out there, and that's the Theme Diamond card, in which you can get a ×3 Chem team on them. So if we go back over to the sets, we go to Theme Builders, to Theme Diamonds. These are a little bit more difficult to do and a lot more expensive, but you can always buy these cards on the auction house as well. If we go to Eagles, we did the Jon Runyan set. What it takes is basically a lot of cards that go onto that team. These are fairly cheap to do nowadays because Core Elites aren't at the prices that they once were. So if there is a team or a theme team you're looking to build, you might want to check and see, is it cheaper to do the set or to buy the card outright, because you do get a power up along with this as well, and you can always sell that power up. If you're building a theme team, I would recommend using that power up and powering up this player. But if we now jump back on over to our team, we're going to show you guys that Mr. Jon Runyan has a ×3 Chem on him. So there we have it, is that we have 2 players on our full roster that are giving us 5 Eagles Chems out of that 50 that we're trying to get to. So here is Mr. Jon Runyan, and I probably didn't press the right button here. Let's go back. We're going to go ahead and hit square instead. Go to compare, and I think we should see a little bit better there. It's ×3 on the chem marker for Jon Runyan. This is a great way to help you get to 50-50. Now, if you don't know every position by heart, or maybe you're building a theme team for a team you're not entirely familiar with, but you know you want to build them, there is a filter on the auction house that you can use for theme team chems. It's probably not used often, but instead of sorting by team, you're actually going to want to go down to chemistry, because there are certain items out there, flashbacks specifically, that have a team chem on a card that's not the team that they currently play for in real time during this NFL season. So if you go all the way down, you're going to start to see the chemistries will let you sort by different teams. And I'm just going to go to Eagles. So now if you have certain positions that you need to fill, you can kind of use your filter accordingly. So you would just go, to say you need a halfback. Well, Sean McCoy is going to be a great example. He's currently a player for the Kansas City Chiefs. But if we go to our halfback filter with the Eagles, we show that there is a flashback LaShawn McCoy out there that is Eagles Chem. And that's a little bit different this year. We're going to talk about veterans cards in a moment as well, and how you can select team chems on them. But I did want to show you that there is a auction house filter on the auction house, obviously, to sort by team chem. Now with power-ups this year, if a player got a core elite to start the year, they have a power-up. And the one good thing about power-ups and why they're so desired for theme teams is because you can change the team chems via power-up. Now, every card in the game does not have a power-up, and we're obviously waiting for more, as that's been kind of a concern and request for the community for a very long time on items like LaShawn McCoy and whatnot. But if you have a power-up for a certain item, and, currently Deshaun Jackson plays for the Eagles, unfortunately not playing much lately because of an injury, but if you go to their power-up and take a look at the chems down at the bottom here, there is a team chemistry. This one, by default, starts with the Eagles because that's his current team. But if you were unaware, you can select that and you can choose any team that he's played for before. So if I wanted to build a Redskins team, I don't know why I would do that, but if I wanted to, we could select that. If we wanted to build a Buccaneers team, we could select that. It's very important to know, I believe they use Pro Football Focus is the website. If a player has not played a regular season snap with the team, then it doesn't count. They were never on or never part. They won't be part of the team chemistry according to MUT. I believe that's the website they use, because there's a few of them out there where, like, I believe Alejandro Villanueva was on the Eagles. He has a power-up, but he never actually played in a regular season game. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's why he doesn't have Eagles chem on him. And of course, you probably know the history if you're building your favorite team, but again, this is something you might have to use Google for, or like I said, you know, NFL.com. If you're looking up certain players to see if they ever played for a team, some of you guys might be a little bit younger and don't really know like the history of some legends. So if you take a look at a guy like Reggie White, obviously he played for the Eagles. We know this, but he also played for the Panthers and had a great career with the Packers. But some people might forget he played with the Panthers, and there's plenty of guys out there that kind of at the tail end of their career played for one other team, and you know, you're not remembered for that, but when it comes to theme teams, it absolutely helps. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys is with veterans cards. Now, to me, this is cheating a little bit, but if you want to do it, I don't care. The rules of a theme team to me are this: as long as they've played on the team before, you can put them on a theme team. Now, a guy like Malik Jackson played for the Eagles, has a flashback card, unable to get Eagles chem on that card. I'm still okay with putting that card on my roster because he's played for the Eagles, but I still want to achieve that 50-50. So once we get to a point where we have roster slots open and we have the 50-50, we might start throwing those types of cards on the roster. A good example right now is I have a Jordan Hicks card as my middle linebacker. No Eagles chem, but we know he played there right now, but he's on the squad. But if you didn't know, if you go to veterans, no power up necessary. You can go to upgrade. You can go down to the team chem section that we just showed you, and veterans cards have all, okay, well, this one did not work. Let's go ahead and try it again here, because from what I've been told and what I'm aware, let's see here, let's go back down to upgrades. I could be wrong on this, but maybe it's just power-ups. Okay, unless EA lied to us here. I thought that they said that veterans cards could get any chemistry, any team chem that they want. Let me go to LeGarrette Blount. Maybe it's just no power up is needed for them. I could have swore they said that veterans cards could get all 32 NFL teams, but it is also important to know that with the veterans cards, you can get team chems on these without needing a power up. So we'll leave it at that. I thought at one point they told us, way when like Ryan Fitzpatrick came out, that you could put any team chem on him that you want. Maybe they meant to say you can put any team that they played for on there without needing the power up. And this really just shows that obviously they have the tech in game to do this with any card. So I would really hope in the future to see something going forward where every card just has this option. You don't need a power up for it, especially with flashbacks and whatnot. You know, that would be awesome. That would stop them needing to build power-ups in the game and stop us from yelling for power-ups all the time if they just did this on every single card without needing a power-up. So one last tip here, which I think some people still don't know because I get a lot of questions about this. We're going to talk about how to put chemistry boosts on your stadiums, uniforms, and coaches. So if you go to your stadiums, and again, this works with uniforms and coaches as well, it's got to be the specific stadium, uniforms, or coach of your theme team. You can put additional chems on those items. Now, it is a bit expensive. You're going to need training, but it works just like any other power-up would work. You go to that item, so we're going to go to our stadiums, and as you can see, we have a P with the Eagles colors times 8. That is Eagles passing. We're going to go to upgrade, and it looks just like a power-up. A little bit different, but there's upgrade path, and as you can see, we purchased quite a few. That's how we have the times 8. Now I'm going to kind of use the end of this video to purchase 4 more, and I'll show you why we need to get 4. As you go up or get, you know, further into the card, upgrading it, it gets more expensive. It starts out cheap, but gets much more expensive as far as training goes as you go along. So we're going to buy the last 2 slots on our stadium. And what that does is now it unlocks this section. And I'll show you before these would have had locks. We'll upgrade another part of our team in a moment. I'll show you the locks first. But once you go ahead and select this, you have different chemistries you can add here. Eagles rushing, Balanced O Eagles. Eagles passing, rush defense, and pass defense. Now, it's very, very, very important to note that you need 4 of these to go one tier. So if we look to Eagles passing, I have tiers 1 through 6. And then there's tier 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's so many more to go. I rock Coach Madden, so I can't unlock them all. But if I were to say just select this one Eagles rushing and that's it, it says requires 4 components right under the tier 1. That means you have to have 4 Eagles rushings. Now you can split those up between your stadium, coach, and uniforms. I've primarily been focusing on Eagles passing, so we're going to go ahead and put another Eagles passing there. We're going to go to that last slot that we unlocked, go all the way over, and we're going to put passing there as well. And the boosts are up to you on how you want to make that decision. But as you can see, even though I just put 2 more, I did not make it to tier 7 because it requires 28 components. So I have 26 of these unlocked amongst my coach. I'm sorry, not my coach, my stadium and my uniforms. I don't have the coach unlocked because I'm using Coach Madden, which gives you a whole nother set of boosts that we're not really going to get into. But now if I want to get to 28, if I want to get to tier 7, I'm now going to have to go on over to my uniforms. And again, you can do this with coaches, but I personally am using Coach Madden. So I'm going to go to uniforms. Again, it has to be the specific uniform of that theme team. So in our case, it has to be the Eagles. We're going to go to Eagles dark uniform. We're going to go to upgrade, and we're going to do the same exact thing to add on those last 2 tiers. Now, before we purchase this upgrade, I'm going to scroll all the way to the right, and as you can see, these 2 are unlocked, so we can't put anything there. We have to pay for it first, which is 2,000 training there. As I mentioned earlier, it gets much, much more expensive the more that you go on. But if I now show that I purchased those 2, I scroll all the way to the right. These 2 are unlocked. We're going to buy 1 more Eagles passing to give us 27 of 40, and then we're going to buy a 28th Eagles passing to get us into tier 7. And it now shows you tiers 1 through 7. Look at all the boosts that I have for my team. This is going to affect all of my Eagles players, and it's a really, really good way to get extra stats and boosts. And this is why we saw like a lot of 99 and 98 overall cards very, very early on in the year. Now, will this affect any of my overalls? I'm not 100% sure. We can take a look. But right now, this is another way to boost up your team. Why is it sorting? Oh, because I'm descending. My apologies there. Let's go to, well, as you can see here, so now my Michael Vick, if you notice, maybe you noticed at the beginning of the video, we were 94 overall. We now are a 95. I don't remember offhand what things we just got boosted by going to Eagles passing tier 7, but I'm sure that it helped get him to a 95. And you can always scroll over to the team impact item or section on any of your items here, and it shows the boost. So we're getting boosts from West Coast, which is just a regular scheme chem, Shaker, which is a physical chem, but here are our Eagles 50 of 50. It shows everything that gets boosted there. Madden passing, Madden pass D, those are again with my coaches. And then we have Eagles passing, and look at all of those boosts that were added to all of our cards. Now, they're not going to help defensive players, but there's other options out there. So it's up to you to pick which ones are best for you, and it really depends on how you play in your scheme and whatnot. But additional ways to add boosts to your theme team and make them a little bit more competitive. We are at an 87 overall with our Eagles theme team. I'll show you guys to end the video what it's looking like here. And we should have some gameplay coming up with this squad very, very soon. I've been kind of building it and holding it and trying to, wait till we get some upgrades on the squad. Just hoping to get some help on defense. I think the offense looks really, really good. Offensive line's great. Tight ends, wide receivers, running backs could use a little bit of help, but I don't run the ball entirely too much. And then here's the defense. There's that Jordan Hicks that I was referring to. So if you got any questions about building theme teams, just theme teams in general, leave it down below in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful, and if you're brand new, you somehow found this video because you were looking for help on theme teams or Madden Ultimate Team, make sure you hit that subscribe button. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.